Right, welcome to a video on how to clean the EGR valve on a Lexus IS220d. So, take your covers off your engine. EGR valve will be here. Basically, I've took it off in this instance. I'll show you a photo with it on in the video so you know what it looks like, you know what you're looking for. Basically, take your two bolts out the top. You only need to take one bolt out of the where it connects to the engine block, which is the back here. And then there's another bolt below it, which is a pain to get to, but it's preferable to just loosen that off than take it off whole, because it's a nightmare to get back on. So just loosen it and it should give you enough slack to get it off. And obviously you take your EGR off here. Make sure you clean out your intake manifold. You can see all the crap in that there. So you need to clean that up because that's full of carbon. You see it all here. And then obviously this is your EGR valve itself. Now I've cleaned this up almost, so it's pretty much ready to go back on. But as you can see, it looks quite clean. I'll put some photos in of what it looked like prior, because it was a lot bloody dirtier. So cleaning these, as I say, I've just used a screwdriver and some brake cleaner as like a fluid to break down the carbon. But probably take it about an hour all in, really. Get it looking clean. Obviously this still has some cleaning to do. It's not exactly sparkling, so. But yeah, get a cleaner, screwdriver, get all the carbon off. Make sure you wear gloves because it's a bloody nightmare. Get covered in rubbish. And yeah, also when you're doing it, you want to make sure the valve's closed by pressing this spring down, because obviously that open and closes the EGR valve inside. So a good method to do to make sure you've done a good job is get a torch if you can. Get this part of the shine a torch through this part of the valve, and then just hold it. Okay. And see if you can see any light coming through where you're shining the torch in below through that hole, and see you can still see light coming through there gradually where the valve's not closed, so that means it needs cleaning better. So if you clean it enough, you shouldn't see any light coming through the valve, and that means you've done a good job. So keep going until you get to that point, basically. And obviously then, yeah, with the valve, put it back on, make sure your inlet manifold's clean all this out of carbon. Put your EGR back together, put it back on. I'll put some photos up of how it's all, when it's back on and all back together. But yeah, it's pretty much clean on that. It's quite simple. You have to disconnect the sensor, which is there, which connects onto the back of the EGR. But as I say, it's a few bolts. Disconnect the sensor. Make sure obviously your engine's off when you're doing it, and just clean up that EGR basically. So I'll put some photos up as well to make it easier. But that's that.